Lord, we thank you for your grace. We thank you for these gifts. We thank you for your glory. And in advance, we thank you for the greater. And I thank you for this guest. In Jesus' name, amen, amen, amen.
Amen. Amen.
Oh my goodness. My people, my royal people out there in listening and watching land, you joining us by either Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and soon Instagram. I just want to say thank you all for giving us your time, for coming and hanging out with us. Welcome to another episode of Living Single with Dr. G. This podcast is pretty much talk therapy, right? So I have guests from all relationship backgrounds. Some are married, some are divorced, some are separated, some are single and searching, some are single and waiting, some single and praying, some single and satisfied. But everybody is able to dive into the same 10 questions, right? And they're dropping nuggets. They're dropping some wisdom nuggets from their own experiences and perspectives. There's no right or wrong. There's no battle here. This is a no judgment zone because that's that person's life. And I believe that everybody echoes somebody else, right? So that same thing is about to take place right here again. And if you would like to be a guest on Living Single with Dr. G, you can do so too. Come on in and dive into the questions. 404-901-8591 is the number to text. Text the word special guest, and somebody will be in contact with you. If you would like to be a sponsor because you have a business and you want us to promote your business on a regular, you want to advertise here, let us know. Same number, just put sponsor. And if you would like to donate, support, that same number, 404-901-8591. You can Zelle or Cash App. We need your help. We're growing and we're going, right? And the other G is we're glowing. Right now, first of all, let me say this. We are in a whole nother season. We've got a couple seasons behind us. And I've been waiting from day one, from day one, to get this guest here. This is my golden son. This is a gift from God. And the way he has blessed my life, my soul, my spirit, words can't even express. It's beyond what he even knows. But I'm saying it just to echo it again so that he can, kind of like get a picture of it. There are people in your life. Maya Angelou says that some people, you may forget what they did for you. You may forget what they said to you, but you'll never forget how they made you feel. And that's why I call him my golden son, right? He's done productions with us in Safe Place, and he has a iconic role in Safe Place. And and it's just when he does whatever he does, he gives it 110%. I've seen how his life has just been evolving. I've seen how he has been at the end of our show. We always say, be intentional about creating a better life for yourself. This right here, this guest right here is a prime example of someone who is intentional about creating a better life for himself and those around him. So without further ado, thank you, God. Introduce yourself. Tell us how old you are and tell us your relationship status.
Okay. Hello, world. My name is Dominic Phoebe. I am 32 years old from West Africa, specifically Cameroon. And I am recently in a relationship.
Hey, don't. Okay. I was about to tell you. I was about to say, y'all wait. Go ahead.
But yeah, that's it. It's fresh. I'm praying to God as we're getting older, 32, trying to lock it down so we can start the next generation. Amen.
Amen. Well, I'm hearing the news for the first time here, whatever. So it's an honor, it's a blessing to know that, man. I was wondering about that, but then also I was like, I'm loving how you were just traveling, living life, while you had no other responsibilities of that such, relationship or kids. So that, as they say, get that out of your system. I guess you was doing a Coming to America.
Soaring my royal oats. But we say in Africa that you're single until you're married, right? It's binary. It's either married or single. And I'm not married, but I do have somebody special.
A
Um,
significant somebody. Okay, okay.
mhm.
So I don't know if that says to all of you ladies out there that that hey, I heard him say it here. He's single until he's married. So you know, so whatever that means. But you about to get into the you about to so tell us a little bit about yourself. Give everybody a little bio.
Sure, I'll try to keep it under 2 minutes.
Okay.
All right. As I said, Dominic, born and raised in West Africa. I have three younger brothers who are all 2 years apart from each other. So I'm
Wow.
32, 30, 28, 26.
And they're so close. I love it.
Yeah, we're very close. We're each other's best friend.
I love
And
them.
all my mother wanted was a girl. She tried 4 times. She never got one. So she gave up. Now she has 4 soldiers beside her. And we just recently bought her a house. So that's something that we're pretty proud about. I grew up in West Africa, Cameroon. I came to America at the age of 12, which was about 20 years ago. And grew up here, went to high school here, went to college here. And now I am working as an engineer here in America. But I travel home every December. So I'm getting ready to go back once again. That's short and sweet. I'm happy to expand on anything else that you would like me to.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. You said engineer, right?
Yes, sir.
And you started out at was Wells Fargo?
I've been bouncing around the banks, but right now I'm at Citibank.
Citibank? Okay, 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 okay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. The this is gonna be good. We're gonna go ahead and dive into it and we're gonna be talking along the way. But once again, like I said, I am honored, to have you here because I know I have a quality guest. All my guests are quality. So don't I just know I know this one up close. That's what I'm saying to y'all. I know this one up close. And I've seen his walk and you know he calls me pops. I call him son. But there's something he called me one day when he was here, and I don't even know if he remembers, but I remember it, and it shifted me to a whole nother level. And I mention it to people all the time. Do you remember what you said? You called me.
Oh, that was probably 6, 7 years ago. I don't remember.
It started with it starts with a K, like I'm playing a game show, right? Okay. It was sitting down. You had your shoes off, like people would take off when they come in.
Kingdom. Was that it?
That's it.
I think so. I thought I.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And
Wow.
see, I had to take your shoes off for you to say.
I forgot all about it. Wow. Wow. Okay.
And so because it's not about me right now, but I want to say that was so huge, and I will continue. You will continue to hear me later talk about how profound that's been for me and how it's shifted my trajectory on so many different levels. So God has a reason in doing what He does, and He'll have particular people to drop something into you. Somebody else could have said that to me. It probably wouldn't have meant the same, but because of the quality of your spirit and your character, right? And I knew, yeah, So anyway, let's go ahead and dig in these questions. We'll keep on talking. You good?
Let's go. I'm ready.
All right. So our desire here is to help those who are living single and to help others become more intentional about building relationship goals, better relationship goals. So you're about to help some people. Okay. So the first topic is red flags. What red flags would you tell anyone never to ignore in someone they're pursuing a relationship with?
Sure. I can only go off my experience. So, based on my experience, my biggest red flag I've ever seen is lack of compassion. If somebody's not able to be compassionate or kind towards others, most likely they will not be kind or compassionate towards you and your family. That's the number one big red flag. I think everything else under that can be worked out. I like three, so I'll give three red flags.
Okay.
Number one, compassion. Number two, lack of faith. Not a deal breaker, but significant. Lack of faith is another red flag. And I guess number three kind of goes along with number one with the lack of compassion, but just a nasty attitude to life, right? They view everything in a negative manner. Those are three huge red flags.
Oh, oh, that's good, man. That's good. That's good. That's good. And that's going to the heart and character of a person. You're really dealing with these. So that's similar to something I was dealing with earlier with customer service, and these, those same three, and I was talking to the manager about. I said that nasty attitude, that approach to life. Let me tell you, because it's infectious, right? It rubs off. It's contagious, as they would say. So good. So have you're now in a relationship?
Mhm. Recently.
Right, recently. What took you so long? Was it red flags? Was it just wanting to live your life? What was it that took you this time, and what made her so special? That stood out. So what took this time, this long, and what makes her so special?
I think I tend to always be in long-term relationships,
Hmm.
always. So I'm very rarely single for more than a year. However, my right before I got in this relationship, I was single for a year and a half. And what took me so long is because as you get older, I'm now 32, you start to refine your list more and more because you have more experience. You've tasted the different flavors of life and you realize what works for you. So for me, finally changing the needle from single to being in a relationship, excuse me,
Hmm.
being in a relationship was finding somebody who had 80% of what I needed. And the other 20% could be worked out.
I heard that saying before, 80/20.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so yeah, 80% of what you need, and 20% can be worked out. Okay, so that's going to take us to our next question. How important is it to have deal breakers, and are deal breakers should deal breakers ever be negotiated or compromised?
I would rephrase deal breakers into boundaries. Right? I would call them boundaries. And I tend to read a lot of books. And for any young men out there listening, especially black young men, because I love to mentor black young men, books are the answers, right? The questions we can't ask our parents, the questions and answers our parents don't know have been written down in books. So I read a lot of books, and one of my favorite book is called Boundaries. Essentially, we always use the term boundaries are sexy because it sets a limit on what you would deal with and what you won't. And you reinforce those boundaries. For example, you won't take somebody who disrespects your family or disrespects you. That's a boundary. And when somebody crosses that boundary, you kind of push them out. So that's a way to filter and select, right? Number one, read the book Boundaries, learn what boundaries is, learn that boundaries is a positive thing. And number two, set firm boundaries.
Mm, mm. Who is that book by?
You caught me. I think it's Mark Manson, but I'll
Mark
have to
Mark
double check.
Manson?
I think so,
Okay.
but don't quote me.
All right. Well, that's a start. We'll be able to find it.
It's by Henry Cloud. Sorry about that. Henry Cloud.
Henry Cloud.
Boundaries.
Well, no, that was
Boundaries by Henry Cloud.
Cloud. No, we was in the wrong letters. We was all okay. Cloud. Okay. We was all in the M's. Yeah, that's good. I love it. Okay, Henry Cloud. We got it now, Henry Cloud. And so you mentor young guys. How do you mentor them? In what way?
So I'm in IT. I mentioned I'm at Citibank. I'm a vice president,
Mhm.
and I'm running a team of 8 around the globe. but I've basically been in the IT space for, my God, almost 11, 12 years now. And there's in the field that I'm in, you tend to have there's not a lot of us black people, especially when you start to rise in the ranks.
Mhm.
And we need more blacks because the different perspectives help businesses succeed. We need black perspectives in higher echelons of business.
That's good.
So I believe my life purpose is to lead by example. Get into the room and leave the door open for the people behind you. So I I try to pull young men into the world of IT. So far, I've been successful. I've probably pulled like 100 or so into the world of IT, and my goal is hopefully to be able to reach millions at some point in my life. So that's how I mentor in any capacity, whether it's a phone call or a text message, or right now as we're speaking, I have a young man living in my house, 22 years old, trying to get into IT, and I'm showing him the ropes every single day. Here's what you need to do. And hopefully, in a year or so, he will be in and he'll be mentoring the next young man.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. No, we impact lives more than we know it, but when we are intentional about impacting lives and how and those lives impact other lives, right? We equip them, so that and you're not in the mindset of let me get mine for me and mine, right? But you understand that your life is made better. I have this saying. I said, there's a shift that I made to it, but it's like this. Um, but let me say the second part of it first, because I added something to it. The second part you've heard before is that we're better together. And I think the first part I add to that was um, we need to do better because we're better together. I see a lot that goes on. And I'm always telling people we need to do better. We need to do better because there's good within us, and we do need each other. Iron needs iron to sharpen. And so
Yes.
for the lives that you're impacting like this, man, and I need you to know this, you are mentoring greater beyond the 100 and those that you realize. Marty is inspired by you. He's 70 years old. He's always talking about, man, dog, I'm doing it, man. I dog living. I want to do the world like dog did. I tell you that because you are, and I can never look at anything without I look at it, then I look at it again. Like, why you didn't make the clip a little longer? It's all like, when
Thank you. Thank you.
I see that positive vibration, it's like that's what I need to stay connected to. I just love it. And so just know you said it, you're leading by example and you're impacting generations, and you're impacting lives far beyond what you think you're reaching.
Wow. Wow.
And God's gonna continue to give you everything, every single thing to do the greater. He's going to allow you to do the greater because of where your heart is. So that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. I
Thank
love it.
you. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. And I miss Marty. I miss the
I
whole
would.
gang.
Yes, 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 yes. I'm gonna let him know. I'm gonna let him know, man. Oh my God. So moving on right now. What you recently, in a relationship, but what have you seen directly, indirectly that makes it hard being single in today's culture?
Hard being single today.
In today's culture, yeah, with everything going on the way it is, and what makes it hard being single, or what have you heard?
Sure. Um, okay. With COVID, I think a lot of us were in the house, locked away, isolated. So, what was it? Social distancing, right?
Yeah, so shit is, uh-huh.
Unfortunately, that built loneliness in a lot of people. Um, there was an article on the news today that loneliness is the highest it's ever been. And they're now going to little kids, 5-year, 3-year-olds, teaching the adults how to make friends and relationships. I'm saying this to say that being single today is a balance between being okay being alone and not necessarily craving validation by having somebody else as a partner, as well as having boundaries, right? And screening for what you want.
Right.
So I'm saying all of this to say you can easily get out there and find anybody to be your partner, but is this a good compatible partner who will work out long term? Most likely, if you didn't do your due diligence, you didn't take your time to figure out what this person is and if they work for you, then you're probably going to be single in a few months. So, just to summarize it, I would think the balance between loneliness and validation and being in a relationship, as well as um, screening potential candidates harder. It's kind of what's making it hard to be single these days. It's stressful.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people always talk about social media being that thing that adds to those difficulties, and you talking about screening people. You know, people project one way. You're trying to screen them, whatever they're projecting one way, and then in reality they're a whole different being. Yeah.
Yeah. And let me respond to that 30 seconds or less. So it's hard to fake forever, right? You can't fake something forever. Um, if if you're thirsty and you see a few pictures and you're automatically thinking this is my wife, then I'm sorry, my friend, you're not taking enough time to screen, right? You need to get to know this person, regardless of what they present in real life. Time will leave it all. Um, I used to have this. I've been reprimanded. I used to have this thought process of 9 months. I talk for 9 months, so we give birth to a relationship, and then we get into it. But a lot of girls used to hate that. They said 9 months is too long. It's way too
Oh,
long.
what? What?
Yeah,
What?
that was me. But
I love it though. I love it. Keep going. Keep going.
but I had to change that. Right? I had to find a middle ground. No less than 3 months, no more than 9 months before this person becomes your significant other. Give it time to see them in different settings, to see how they interact. And courting is dead for some reason, but I've always liked courting, which means dating, right? Taking somebody out on a picnic, movie dates, different scenes. You want to see when this person is upset, how they handle themselves. You want to see when they can't find their car in the parking lot, how they handle themselves. So give them time, all right, to let these attitudes come out.
Yes. Yes. No, that's real. That's who they are. It caught
Yes,
them. That situation caught them off guard, and now you about to see the real.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Now, did you and do you believe it's cool to court or date more than one at a time because you are searching?
Yes, and the way I view it is it's a narrowing down process. Typically, when you're in a relationship and you break up, right, you've been kind of locked up for a while, so you're eager to get out in the dating scene. Uh, my mother uses the term tasting the different spices of life. I like when she
Come
says,
on, mama. Come on, mama.
just meaning dating different people, right? But as you're tasting the different spices of life, number one, you need to be careful, right? And number two, you need to be transparent. Don't waste anybody's time out there. Um, I typically, when I'm tasting the different spices of life, it's basically figuring out what this person is like outside of social media, right? Um, the text communication, the call communication, how it works. And when I realize that this person most likely doesn't fit the bill for me, that person falls off. And as I narrow down and I come down to the last two or three, always transparent. Um, the truth hurts initially, but it's so much better in the long term, right?
Mhm.
So let the candidates know that, hey, I'm talking to this person as well. And if you have the guts, let them know that I'm trying to choose between you. And here's the qualities that I'm seeing this person that I like. Here's the qualities that I'm concerned about you, you know. And as you start to narrow it down and you come to the last two, you let the last one know that it's no longer working, and you just focus straight on the final candidate. So to answer your question, yes, you can date multiple people while you're dating, but just be transparent about
Boy, you better say that, man. Come on. Come on, dog. Oh, listen. As I'm listening to you, we implement this mindset in pageants, when we're searching for a car, when we're searching for a house,
it. Mhm.
what college we want to go to, right? We and when jobs, when they are interviewed, we know when we got the interview, we don't know we got the job. We know we are a possible candidate, you know, and they're being serious with it. Okay, I'm let you know we have a couple of more interviews, but and so why do you have a problem with this mindset when it comes to cares of the heart,
Yeah.
your life, and everything else that you engage your life with? It's like it's second nature. It's okay. I love it, man. I love it. Oh
I
my
do.
gosh, I love it. You just dropped something there. 32 years, 32 years old. Come on, y'all. All right.
Speaking from the heart, pops.
I love it. Oh my gosh. What? There's a book in you. There's a book in you.
Oh man, you might have just planted a seed there. We'll
There's
see.
a book in you. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
So,
Thank
what you said already, what does it mean to settle? When you hear people say they settle, I won't settle, what does it mean to settle?
Settle to me means compromise. And there's good settling and bad settling.
Okay.
80-20, good settling. The person has 80% of what you want and they're lacking 20. It's okay
Okay.
to settle in that
Uh-huh.
in that sense. All right.
Okay.
Bad settling is 10-90. So the flip exactly. The person only has 10%, but you think they can grow to 90%. That's bad settling. That's the answer.
Wow. Wow. Have you ever settled in your life before? Have you ever settled and, that made you think different about it or have a different perspective to it? You ever settled before?
Absolutely. I have.
Okay.
And if you
Wow.
want me to speak to it, I will.
I do. I do. I want you to. Why did you settle? Speak to it.
Okay. Settling comes from a lack of self-worth.
Okay.
I think if you don't see yourself as worthy of the best candidate, then you will settle for whatever you think you can attain. And unfortunately, um, some people just don't believe that they deserve the best, so they go for what they can get. It ties into the screening, right? So, what I have faced in my past as I was growing up as a young man in this country um, was exactly that. I didn't quite understand my value that I bring to the table. I didn't quite understand my self worth, and I didn't have a very high self image of myself. It took many failed relationships and, again, many books. Books teach you the answers you don't know. It took many books for me to realize the person that I am, right? The spirit within me. And I think with that comes along with the boundaries. When you start to realize the value you bring, you put boundaries around it because you don't want just anybody to tear you down. Excuse me. So,
Mhm.
self worth leads to boundaries, boundaries leads to less settling. That's my answer on that.
Wow.
I hope I'm addressing your questions.
Wow. And then some. And then some. Powerful. Powerful, man. Listen, everybody's always telling me how therapeutic this show is for them. Um, I've had guests to call me back and say I was cathartic, and that's why I call it talk therapy, because when we do begin to talk and dialogue with people, and we don't even call it therapy, there's something therapeutic that's taking place there. We're hearing other perspectives, a different way of articulating something. Our mind is being renewed in the midst of what we're hearing and experiencing. So there's an evolution that takes place just right there, just talking and dialoguing, right? And
Yeah.
so, just to what you shared, man. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, you're dropping some good stuff, man. You're dropping some good stuff. And I yeah, but I love that understanding of, because we have these boxes, this perfect boxes, right? So I love that 80/20. So, if you could find somebody got at least 80, 20, then no, you're not selling, because they have that, don't have that, or whatever. You can work with that. And when you look at it, it might just be a pet peeve. It doesn't mean that you're selling. But to anyway, you said it all. You said it all.
I'll just add that you will never, ever, ever find somebody who has 100%. So stop looking for it. I'll just stop there.
Because you don't have it.
Exactly.
I don't have it. What in the world? I was like, yeah. Okay, but it's gonna keep coming out. It's gonna keep coming out. Glory be to God, Jesus. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I'm being right now. I feel the shift in me. I love when I'm in a moment or conversation or something, and I feel the renewing. I feel the shifting taking place within me. I feel myself receiving, being empowered. And I tell people it has nothing to do with age or stage or people, whatever like that. Be open to receive that thing from wherever it comes that makes you better, open your eyes a little bit, more or whatever, just whatever it is. But when it makes me better, it's almost like tasting something. Like just now, what you just dropped, that was one of the spices mom was talking about. I'm like, yeah, put some more of that in there. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you, mom. Thank you, mom. So moving on. What qualities? You pretty much said this, but what qualities would you tell someone to make sure they see already existing in a potential mate?
Okay. Um, 3 come to mind, right?
Okay.
The first thing I'm gonna mention is ambition, right? Not potential, but ambition. It's almost the same thing. You
Yeah.
want
Okay.
a partner who wants tomorrow to be better for themselves as well as, their family eventually. So ambition is definitely a characteristic. Um, the next one, I'm gonna tie it back to the red flag that I mentioned at the very first question, is lack of compassion. Right? Oh well, I would say compassion. You want the person to have compassion and
Mm-hmm.
not and be compassionate.
Mm-hmm.
Ambition, compassion, and what would be those top two? And let's see a third one. I would say this is not as strong as the first two, as ambition or compassion, but I
Okay.
would say believe in faith. It doesn't matter who exactly you call God, but as long as there's a belief in it's bigger than me, there's something else bigger than me.
Okay.
Right. I think that those 3 characteristics can definitely point towards a person with sound mind who would be a good potential candidate, a good potential partner.
Okay. Okay. So To what you're saying, what if a person, and people have dealt with this before, what if they find someone who's in faith, but their faith is so different from their faith? And we live and move by our faith, right? And so therefore the choices and how our life is directed many times is by our faith. So what do you say to that person who they see faith as a quality, but this person's faith, and not to name denomination, religions, or whatever, but it's just too very, very diverse, very different.
Okay.
But
Sure.
nevertheless, it is faith. They do believe in a higher being.
Sure. So I would say to that person that you are not the first person to be in that predicament. There are 6 billion human beings, 6B with a billion, billion with a B. And you are not the first person to have a different faith from your potential partner or your potential husband or wife. Many people have gone through it, many people have dealt with it and are in successful marriages because of it. So there is a path forward. I will say, however, everybody's boundaries are different. Your boundaries are different from my boundaries. If my boundary is I just want somebody who's faithful, your boundaries could be, I want somebody who believes in Jesus, or I want somebody who believes in Buddha, or I want somebody who believes in Allah, right? So let your boundary define who your candidate is, but realize that you're not unique because many humans are on this little ball we call Earth, and somebody has gone through that before and succeeded.
I love it. I love it. Well said. Well said. Well said. I love it. I love it. And and that's the thing. A lot of times people start feeling like they're the only ones who dealing with that or feeling that way. And but going back to what you said, and you pick up some books, you start finding out that no, I'm not the only one. Oh, they've been dealing with this way back in the day. Somebody wrote couple of books about it. Yeah. That's
Yep.
good. That's good. That's good. And I got another book I'm gonna get to at the end. It comes at the end. I'm gonna see have you touch base with that book.
Okay.
Moving on, women and men. I'm gonna bring this one together. Um, what are the traits and responsibilities of a woman? The role of a woman, the role and traits that a man should exhibit in a relationship.
Okay. I hate to keep bringing up books, but that's who made me who I am and the man you're looking at today because I lost my father at a young age and I was seeking knowledge, I was seeking guidance. So, the book that taught me about the skills that a man should possess, as well as the skills that a woman should possess to make a union successful. The
Hmm.
name of the book is called The Way of the Superior Man. And when I get a second here, I'll probably Google it and give you the author. But the name of the book, it's called The Way of a Superior Man. I've made all 3 of my younger brothers read it, and all of my friends have read this book. I've read it 3 times. They all have read it 2 or 3 times.
Well, Pops will read it too then.
um, and for anybody out there who does pick it up, I will say go into it, open magnet. No, you don't have all the answers, right?
Mhm.
Just open your mind to it. But it's a fantastic book. And it
Okay.
lays down these tenets that the role of a man is very cut simple. And it's the same thing in the Bible, right?
Mhm.
Provide and protect. That's the
Mhm.
man's job.
Mhm.
Provide, whether it be financially, safety, emotionally, or physically. Your job as a man is to provide and protect. And a woman's job then will now be to nurture. What you bring in, the woman would take it and nurture it. For example, if you bring in the money, she would take it and make dinner where you can eat and grow with the family. So that's kind of what I would say. The book goes into a lot more details, but that's kind of the tenets that I go off.
My God, my God, my God. I love that. Yeah, you've done a well introduction to the book. I got it. We're gonna go check this book out. Um, yeah, and any of y'all, you check the book out, please let me know. But yes, I love that simply put regarding the woman because women are often saying that they are, and we know that they are. They are nurturers. You know, we hear the saying, "It's a man's world," but it wouldn't mean nothing without a woman or a girl. You know.
Agree.
But you talk about a virtuous woman, you put something in her hand, and I've heard many women say, you know, all you got to do is bring it to me, bring it to me. I'll make it something. We'll make it, you know. And like you said, you know, she turned money into a meal. But what? You know? And dig the house, you know, and all kind of stuff. But I love it, you know. And so to the sister, it's like make sure that you are prepared and ready to be a nurturer. That you're ready to do that before you go and connect with someone, right? Because he's expecting this. He should be able to expect you to be a nurturer. You should be able to expect him to be that provider and that protector. And I love how you said many people have said that here, you know, on different levels, providing on different levels, not just financial, you know. One lady, I love to make reference to her episode. I recommend y'all go watch it. Lisa Marie Coleman Foster. Yeah, she got 4 names.
I remember her name.
Awesome interview I did with her here, but she talked about she's recently widowed. Her husband provided and her husband protected, but he did not protect her heart or her emotions. You know, didn't protect her heart. You know, he had the fence, had the safety gears, everything up. You know, weapons in the house in case. You know, make sure he took care of things with her car, just protected her. But she felt like he didn't protect her heart. You know, so she goes into it a little bit. So I definitely check that out. I love how you drop that just in, and I'm going to definitely pick up that book. Man, you're
The Way
dropping.
of the
Say
Sorry,
it
go
again.
ahead.
No, you.
The Way of the Superior Man by David Ditter. And I would just round it off by saying you being masculine, providing, protecting, automatically puts her in her feminine because she doesn't have to provide and protect. When women provide and protect, they are in their masculine, and then they're going to challenge you and butt heads with you. But if you feel that role, she just naturally submits into the feminine energy.
But you said something. Oh, jeez. But you said something earlier, and we was talking about this. I was talking this earlier because I had a prompt too. It was like I told you, we was having an interview with one of the managers, and he made mention about allowing because sometimes women have dealt with this. I've dealt with this with some females who didn't allow the man to walk on this end of the sidewalk, open the door, or do this. I'm saying, I got it. I'm used to doing it by myself. And it's because they have stepped into that masculine role somewhere down the road, down the line. And so now other guys who come along got to come back with that. And I would say to the sister, what would you say to that sister who has been in that role, found herself having to be in that role? She says, well, I got to do it. I had to do it. I got to always do it. What do you say to her when she comes into the company of a man and he's trying to exert his masculinity, but she's still in that mindset?
Absolutely. I would tell that sister communication is the key. Let the gentleman know what makes you happy, what makes you fulfilled. If he steps up and he does that, watch how you feel within yourself. Are you at ease or are you still conflicted? Right? Because if you tell somebody what you want and they provide it, you naturally are going to feel good and submit.
That's my boy, y'all. That's my golden son. That's my son, y'all. Like, what? Yes. I tell people you gotta communicate. You gotta tell. You don't go to no Subway or no 5-star restaurant. Okay, just let me see what you do. Let me see what you know. No, you tell them. You tell them. You don't say, let me see what you come up with. No, you don't do it with your mate. Or you better say, I like it like this. I like it. I like it. Or when you do that, that makes me feel this way. Or I like it with someone. You know, and then if they rise to that, you know they see you as value, quality, that you're worth it, you know? And if they don't, then that's a boundary.
Yes. Hit it. Yep. On the head. Yes.
Moving on. What
Okay.
what are some unrealistic, unreasonable, unfair expectations that singles have of each other while they're single? They have it of each other, they're single. Unfair, unreasonable, unrealistic expectations.
Okay. I don't have much on that topic, but I would say that waiting for somebody to save you or when somebody comes in your life, then you suddenly be happy. No. All right. I would say people come into your life to complement you, not to complete you. You should already be complete, all right? And happy in yourself. And then share that now with somebody else.
Okay, say that again, please. People come to your life.
Yeah, people come in your life to complement you, not to complete you. You should already be complete in yourself. That's all I
I
have.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's probably going to be the one I put with yours. Oh my God. And oh, it's like these wisdom nuggets, these simple wisdom, profound nuggets. When we just meditate on them, when we think about it, and when we um, analyze, evaluate our life in comparison to it, right? Then we see, yeah, that's what I've been doing, you know, and or you can see other relationships and see that's the problem. That's what they've been doing. I just thought about a recent relationship that made newsworthy. But because somebody said, I'm gonna say this because there's an episode that was taped last night, Preston's episode, and he spoke about. We was talking about Will and Jada Smith. I don't know if you heard the recent development on their relationship. Have you?
I have. I have, yes.
And so he had made mention of a comment. He said that he felt that Jada, based on what she's always put out there and has been out there, that she um really wanted a thug man. She loved Tupac. Tupac was her, you know. Will is not a thug. And so there was probably other reasons, who knows, maybe in the book, other reasons why she went the route with Will, right? As opposed to and so whatever topic it falls up under, it's just it's something how we um um settle or have expectancies of somebody, whatever, you know, that's beyond who they are. Um, but it goes to self-awareness as well. But something you said that made me bring that up, made me think about that. Oh yeah, completing. So I don't know. Sometimes you find out later that, hey, this person that I settled for didn't complete me. You know, because I was looking for them. I was looking for them to complete me. I thought that was going to do it. You know, I, I I I wasn't already complete, and I was looking for that. Um, it's a lot to be said about that, but you're wanting someone to complement who you are as you are, but you got to be in a complete form
Mhm.
first. You can't be looking for someone else to complete you. Know that they bring value to your value. They only upgrade you.
Yes.
You know, they only upgrade you. Yeah. So I don't know the ins and out about that particular one. It came to my mind, so I brought it out. I don't know all the ins and
May
out
I,
about.
may I touch on it for like 30 seconds?
Touch on it.
Okay. So, as we grow up, for example, kindergarten, you may have kissed a girl and then you called her your boyfriend, I mean, your girlfriend or boyfriend. But in high school, you didn't continue dating that person. Or in high school, you may have had a relationship but that didn't continue into college. Or same thing with college and so forth and so on. The point here I'm making is some people are in your life for seasons, some people are in your life for reasons. And Jada and Will, they have so many beautiful kids together. So we cannot say that wasn't a successful union. It was. Maybe their season is just running its course and it's over. We can't taint it as a bad picture. Maybe it's just that season has run its course, and who's to know what's in the future, right? Maybe if she gets with somebody else and has a baby, maybe that baby solves cancer. We don't know. So I wouldn't paint it as a bad situation. I would just say it's the season playing out.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well said. And one thing I said today about it is that I said, listen, they're just on a celebrity status. So they are, but everybody, because I'm going to bring some people together and we're going to dig into it a little bit more, whatever, but not necessarily so much about Will and Jada, but about the situation that many of us find ourselves in. I know, especially in the Black community, I know of so many relationships that are not your, if you want to call it typical, or maybe it is typical, and you know what I'm saying. And so I know of so many. I know of couples who were together for over 30 years, but they never was married. But everybody thought they was married. I know of couples who did not, who was separated. There was a time in my life when I was separated for a while, but people didn't know about it. But when they saw us together, they just assumed we were still together. We wasn't pronouncing, no, we're not together, but whatever. And so they was just assuming that we were, because we still had stock together. We still was trying to keep a friendship. And so it's on a celebrity level. So that's why it's known so, but it's nothing new. It's nothing new. And to what you were saying is that, yes, we have to understand that sometimes that season and whatever was produced in that season has come to its end, But I believe as long as God got breath in your body, and as long as you remain ambitious, there's greater fruit to be seen from your life. I love how you say it may give birth to a child that cure cancer. What once you said that, you're like, yeah, well, okay, okay, let God do it. We all know y'all. But I love the way you think. I love the perspective. I love the way you think, and that's so true and so good. But yeah, I never believe in bashing anybody because of the shoes they're in, because however little you may know, however much you may know, you don't know it all. And whatever path someone must try, not one, you don't know it all, but then you don't know what God is doing, right? You don't know what God is doing. And so just live your life, glean whatever you can glean from someone else, whether it's wisdom, whether it's I'll do that, I won't do that. But I love it. 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 Moving on. Okay, next one is turnoffs. What are some turnoffs? There are people who out here, they're looking, they're living single, they want a relationship, and they don't know that thing right there is looked at as a turnoff. What are some turnoffs you've seen, and some things that's been turnoffs for you before you got to this place of relationship?
Okay, so I'll give two. One is physical, one is characteristic. Right? That way, let's balance it off. For the physical, I don't know why. All right, God makes us all unique, but for some reason, this is just a turn off to me. But for me, it's armpit hair. Women with armpit hair turn me off. I don't know what it is. It drives
Cut it
me
off.
nuts. Cut it off. Cut it off. It drives me nuts. I don't know what it is. So that's the physical.
I love it. That's the first.
And
Armpit hair.
armpit hair, that's the first. And characteristic, I would say rudeness. If we're at a restaurant and you're being rude to the server, I'm sorry, you're not getting another date. It ends there. So rudeness is an automatic turn off.
Wow, I love them. I love them both.
Yep. Oh,
I'm just saying right now, I'm gonna have to do a skit with that. I'm gonna just put some hair up on the one from there. I'm gonna do a skit with that and have him saying, just have that little interaction. Maybe about 5 minute skit, and be like, "Can you cut it out? I can't be with." She's like, "I cut it, baby. I cut it." So,
I love your
it.
creative mind. How you pick up these nuggets and see a vision. I've always loved that.
Man, I done got a couple with hit with you. I've been writing, man. Inspired by Dom's interview.
Oh wow.
Listen, yes, no, because see, something like that is just a real. It's real. Is some people don't know how to conversate about it. And that's why I got this question here, so that you can know that what you think is just you being you and doing you. And some women might say, "I thought you said you wanted me natural." That's natural. It's naturally growing.
Yeah. No.
You say, yeah, no, too natural.
Way too
No. That's not what Aretha Franklin was singing about. That's not that ain't gonna do. Man, women have to do a whole lot. They got to shave, curl, roll. They got to do a whole lot. And so I guess if you don't want a woman to have hair up on the armpits, then you have a problem with the women who have the little peach fuzz too.
That doesn't bother me as much as the armpit hair. I don't know what it is. When God built me, he said, "My son, this is not for you." Now there's some guys out there who don't care, who love the armpit hair. More power to them, but it's not for me.
What it made me think about was, I'm your toast, you my Jane. I'm like, what?
You don't even know.
But listen, I understand. I'm not coming against anybody. I'm just telling you what's coming on me right now as he's talking. Even the vision I'm getting. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. Yeah, but that's real. And you know what? I'm putting these into like a quiz form or like a survey, like a quiz form, so that people who can't necessarily bring these up verbally, don't know how to verbalize it, don't want to be offensive. It's like a little test. It's like love language. They got like a little quiz, and then you can write in, and then you'll be able to, hopefully it'll help you, write the vision. This is what I envision. This is what I would like. This is what's here. I'm putting it on paper, because some people have a hard time having what you call confrontational. Like you said, something may hurt at first, and so it gives an opportunity, a different way to communicate it. Because if it's a thing with you, you like everything else, and you don't know how to say something about that thing, whatever that thing may be. In your case, if you don't know how to say something about it, if it's a thing today, it's going to be a thing later. And if you don't address that thing, then today she's wearing a coat and everything, and it's covered up. But then when it gets hot, she's going to be wearing tank tops or something like that, and it's going to be
yeah.
Right. And so then, why? Your emotions, you wasn't enraged during the winter because it was covered up. But it's summertime now, everybody else seeing it, you don't like, just letting it all hang out. What's wrong with you? You didn't say nothing all winter long? Yeah, because it was winter, it was covered up. You need to get through some of that. This is still growing, and then it's nappy. Whatever. Pick. Whatever. Pick it up. I ain't picking it up. Cut it up.
Oh my God.
Let me
Oh,
keep going. Let me keep going. Okay, I love it. Yes, yes, yes. Happened right here, y'all. It happened to me right here. Okay, so that's fine. I'm over here tripping. Okay, so self-aware. We've talked about it already anyway. How important is it for a person to be self-aware before they even consider pursuing another life, a relationship?
self-awareness is not a destination, it's a journey, all right, which you never fully arrive at. So you just always keep learning more about yourself, realizing how different situations affect you. So my response to that would be at least start the journey to self-awareness. Realize that there's always potential to grow in yourself and knowing yourself. I'm still growing every day, every second. All of us are. So I would say that, right? That don't set a necessary a limit or a destination of self-awareness because you're always going to be growing, right? But just make sure you're on that journey and making progress.
And what does that look like, being self-aware?
Okay. Self-awareness is, they call it basically knowing knowing your flaws, knowing what you could do better. For example, um I've not always been the best communicator. All right. That's self awareness. I know I'm not good at communication. So, what do I do? If I know I need to call somebody this week, I'll set a reminder, right? Or an alarm to trigger that action. Self awareness lets you implement solutions so that you can hopefully get better at the things that you're struggling with. So that's kind of what self awareness would look like to me, being aware of your shortcomings, your downfalls, as well as the things that you want to improve within yourself. Not necessarily optics and how you look to the world. That's more so self image. Self awareness is what's going on within you and kind of what you think you're lacking. That's why I would say that.
I love it. Well said. Well said. And that leads me into what I was about to ask you.
Sure.
Dealing with self-awareness is, how self-aware are you? You hit on it a little bit. If you could name two areas of your life that you're impressed about yourself, that impress you about yourself, and two areas of your life that needs improvement or that you're working on.
Sure. Um, I often get compliments about being very warm, being approachable, right? Um, Regardless of status, you could be Jesus Christ himself, or you could be uh, a bum on the street, or you could be a kid, a king. It doesn't matter, right? We'll treat you all with, well, I would treat you with respect, compassion, and relate from a human to human perspective.
Yes,
Um,
you do. Yes, you do.
There's a book that really taught me how to zone in on that called Seat of the Soul by
And we
Gary.
need to start a book club. Really,
I
we
know,
really
I'm
do.
sorry. I'm sorry, man. I gotta
Really, I'm loving it. I am. Marty gonna love it too. I'm loving it. I'm
yeah,
loving it.
man.
I'm loving it. I'm
Yeah.
loving it. What's the name of it?
One book, Seat of the Soul by, I know his first name is Gary. I can never pronounce his last name. Gary Zukarow. Seat of the Soul. That's it. It teaches you to connect with people from a human to human perspective, regardless of their status. Fantastic book. But yeah, that's what I'm proud about, the way I connect with others very authentically. Um, Maybe I'll only do one on one for the interest of time. I saw the producer come on. So one area that I think I would like to continue improving on is, which I mentioned it, is communication, right? Um, our generation just doesn't pick up the phone as the previous generation did. We're more so short attention spans, text message, Instagram DM, move on. But there's value in human connection face to face, like we're doing now, or on the phone. All right. So that's an area of life that I continue to keep improve. Well, I want to shine a light on and intentionally get better. And the steps I'm taking to achieve that is do it at that moment when you feel the inspiration, when you feel the spirit, right? Don't make any excuse. Pick up the phone, call, get it over with, put it behind you, and keep moving. That's what I'm trying to work on.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome, man. I love it. You're doing a good job. Just know that you're doing a good job, and because you're conscious of it, and you're being intentional about it, it ain't nothing but a thing. It's gonna be that next thing that you conquer. Um, Speaking of books, have you heard of the book, The Five Love Languages?
The 4 love languages? Or is it
Five
5?
love languages.
No, I've read the 4, but not 5. Go ahead.
Okay, the five love languages. So
Oh wait, I'm
definitely.
sorry. I got confused with the 4 agreements. No, 5 love language. Please proceed.
Oh, the four agreements.
I think
Yes.
I think it's in the same realm, but please proceed.
Yeah. Well, the four agreements, man, and that third, that don't take it personal. Don't assume not. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. So do your best. That's third. That's fourth one. Okay. The five love languages. They are, one is quality of time, quality time. One is
I think communication is in there.
touch, physical touch. Other one is affirmation, words of affirmation. One is gift, giving gifts. And then the other one is acts of service.
Service. Okay.
So out of these five, have you ever heard of them before?
Yes, I have. I know mine. Yes.
That's what I'm about to ask you. What is your top love language?
My top one,
Yeah.
hands down, acts of service. Hands down.
And why?
It shows, I guess it ties right back to my biggest red flag, right? And my biggest quality that I search for is compassion.
Yes.
Right? Acts of service. I think humans are most fulfilled when we're doing something for somebody else, not necessarily for ourselves. So if you have somebody who's compassionate, they won't be hesitant to do acts of service. And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be giving a chewing gum to somebody. That's still an act of service.
And don't mind doing it at all. Yeah,
Amen.
yeah, don't mind doing it. Going the extra mile. This has been awesome. What? It's finally done. Oh my glory. Uh, this has been a blessing. It did not disappoint. I knew it was gonna be as rich as it was, as well thought as it was. Um, it was everything. It was everything. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I have evolved because of this.
Oh
Yes,
wow.
yes. I've evolved because of this. This has been good for me as well, because of because of what you shared, but also because of who you are to me. What and for that to come back, just know you have helped to upgrade and evolve Pops today.
Wow. I'm humbled by that. And Pops, you will always, always have a place in my heart, no matter where on this planet we are.
To God be the glory, man. I love you. I thank you for that. And I'm going to be seeing you soon. We'll be seeing you very soon, because I'm gonna be in your town. What are some last nuggets you want to just drop in the atmosphere for anybody?
Sure. I'll give one for the greater audience, and then I'll give one for you, Pops.
Mm.
So for the greater audience out there, um, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. One of God's commandments is love thy neighbor as thyself, right? And that equates to kindness. Be kind to yourself in your shortcomings. Be kind to others because of their shortcomings. We're all put on this ball called Earth, and we're all trying to figure it out. Nobody has all the answers. We're just putting one foot in front of the other every single day. So I would just impact that on everybody. And for you, Pops, you've always had this gift and this calling to reach others, and you've been very successful at it for as long as I've known you. And as you're starting to move into the other platforms, there's this new school of thought that people like to snack on information. No longer do people like to watch, really long videos or vlogs is what it used to be called. Now it's all about shorts and stories and things like that. So even episodic contents like this, they do very well when you turn them into snacks, 60-second snacks. For example, if there was a moment in the interview, like the armpit hair moment, that was special. Just clip it as a little snack, and those tend to really do well and reach more people. That's all I have to say about that.
I love it. I love it. So noted. And that's what I was talking about with the TikTok part, that those even I was thinking about what's the word? Discombobulated. Just that little snack right there is what so when I made mention that I was talking about TikTok went out then, and you're so right, because and it's like you gotta give it, you may place the full thing there, but you gotta give the snacks, because sometimes that's all a person may even have time for.
That's true.
And hopefully that snack will cause them to want to go for something more.
Absolutely. And even the movie studios now, they're breaking up their movies into chunks and putting them on TikTok, because they've noticed that people will watch a little bit, go away, and come back and watch more. So that's how the world is changing now. It's a macro.
And we got to keep up with it. We got to roll with the way it is to be received. And we will be made evolving all the way to the end. Aspire, you hear he done dropped it on us, Aspire. She oh my gosh. Thank you, man. Thank you, my son. I love you so much. I receive it. You're gonna see it.